I'm Nandini Nayar, the author of over 50 books for children of all ages. And I firmly believe that the best childhood you can give your child is one filled with books. But then this raises the question of where do you get these books? Should you buy personal copies of all the books that your children want to read? Okay, so here are a few ideas and suggestions on how parents can deal with this question of, should all the books your child read be bought? Should you have personal copies of these books? Now, I think that for very young children, if you're just starting your child and this is a toddler, it makes sense to own personal copies for a variety of reasons. The first reason would be the reason of hygiene, because at this age, children often put the books in their mouth and they drag the books around with them all over the place. So it doesn't make sense to really borrow these books. The second reason is also that, a book that has been through the hands of a toddler who loves the book, by the way, ends up looking very battered and in a tattered condition. So it does make sense to have your own copy. Also at this age, books are not just the stories they carry in them, they often become a sort of a comforting thing, a comfort blanket for your child, and they will want it at all times. So borrowing from a library at this age doesn't make sense, because your child will want the one book that is unavailable in the library. So I think for very young children, it makes sense to invest in personal copies of books, because they will become, you will be glad of these, because they will repay their investment in many different ways. But when your child grows older, you will find that your child is practically devouring books by the day. So what do you do then? At this point, parents face a real question about both the space in the house and the money that is spent on the expense of books. So what you can do at this point is that you can encourage your child to borrow books. You can encourage them to borrow from a circle of friends who are also readers, because this way they can exchange books and make sure that all the gaps that their own bookshelves have are filled by reading these books. Most schools also have well-equipped libraries, so your child can rely on these to have books to read. And if these two sources do not suffice, then you can always take a membership in a local library. There are lots of wonderful libraries which have amazing collection of books, and at this point you can certainly invest in a membership there and allow your child to borrow the books. So even here I would say that parents should learn to react to each demand for a book based on that the individual merit. So if there's a book that your child has borrowed from a library and read multiple times and really loves, then owning a personal copy makes sense, because this is a book that your child will go back to again and again. Because books, when a child is used to reading books, it is not merely the story that attracts them, it is a sense of comfort that the book gives them. And this is something that your child should have whenever he or she wants it. So if they are going through a really difficult time and they feel that reading this particular book makes them feel better, then it's always nice to have a personal copy to reach out for, whether it's in the middle of the night or in the middle of the day, or whenever they feel like reading it. Okay, so these are just a few suggestions that you can use to help your child deal with it. Also, you will find that there are many outlets either on the internet or even within your city where you can find pre-loved books, and many of these are in good condition, so you can actually go examine them and buy them for your child, so that you are able to provide all the books that he or she wants, but at definitely a quarter of the expense that you would otherwise have been put to. You can also keep an eye out for sales which are announced, and make sure that you are able to replenish your child's bookshelf with new books, again at a fraction of the cost that you would otherwise have incurred. So I hope that these suggestions have helped you, because these are things that I tried and tested with my own son when he was growing up, because the need for new books, the hunger for new books is always present in a reader. And once you have ignited that fire and that hunger for books, as a parent, it's your duty to make sure that you do provide books. And I hope these suggestions have helped you find a way of dealing with the question of whether you should buy personal copies of every book, or whether you you can find other means of doing it. Do write and let me know what means you have found of dealing with this hunger of your child's desire for books all the time. I'd love to hear from you. So till the next time, keep reading, keep smiling, and let's all work together to raise readers in our house. Bye-bye and thanks for watching.